Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. So my name is Scott. Nice to meet you today, and I'm going to be your teacher today for our week 1, lesson 1 reading. So everyone right now has been promoted to a panelist. You are free to unmute your microphone at any point, and you're able to speak to me and to the rest of the students here today. So just make sure your microphone is working because I will want you to speak today as part of the class. We're going to actually encourage some peer-to-peer interaction as we go through. So can everyone just test their microphone and make sure it's working so I can hear you? Everyone just say hello. That would be great.
Hello, this is
Hello.
Rachit.
Hi, nice to
Hello.
meet you. All right, so we have 2 other students here. If you can just unmute your microphone and say hello if possible, just so I can hear everyone today, that would be great. All right. That's okay. Anyway, we'll just move on from there, and just throughout the class, whenever I ask you to unmute your microphone just to say hello, that would be great as we get going. So anyway, a bit about me. My name is Scott and I am from Ireland, and I'm going to be taking this first PTE lesson today, week 1, lesson 1, and we're going to be looking at some reading today. So because this is the first lesson, I think it's very important that we all introduce ourselves. So would anyone like to unmute their microphone and tell us their name, where they're from, why they're doing PTE, and why they're also here with Swoosh English? Anything else that you feel like you want to talk about? Please introduce yourself to the group.
Hi, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hi, my name is Ajit Kumar Chaudhary. I am
Hi,
from
Rajit.
Nepal. Hi, thank you. I am from Nepal, Kathmandu.
Nice to meet you, Rajit.
Yep. I have given the PTE exam twice and I have scored like 66, 68. But my desired score is to score 79 plus. So I looked into Scotch English through social media, Facebook, and got to know about the live classes.
Okay.
And luckily I became the winner of this $99 free course.
Oh, well, welcome and well done to you for scoring that scholarship. Well done. Well, nice to meet you, Radhi, and nice to see a Nepalese student. You're going to be my first Nepalese student, so well done. Anyway, nice to meet you, and I really hope that we can help you get that score of 79 plus as we move through. All right, thank you. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Hi, my name is Manoj.
Hi, Manoj.
Yeah, and I'm also from Nepal.
All right, great. Two in one day.
And I was expecting, I'm targeting for 65 plus, and I just get to around. So I get the opportunity from your institute for the free enroll. So
Okay, yeah.
try.
So another free student. Well, great. So you're aiming for 65 plus. Obviously a very, very doable score, and we hope that we can help you the best that we can today. Well, nice to meet you, Manoj. Great. And we have one more student here as well. And third student with their microphone, if you want to unmute it, please. AK Chaudhary. I'm not going to pronounce it in case I say it very wrong, and I'm sorry about that. I'll just unmute you if maybe you can hear. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I just spoke to you right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see another person here called Raji Zai. I thought that was the other person. All right. Well, let me just get the other person here. Hello. Can you hear me? All right. So we have Raji Zai. Sorry, is that the correct pronunciation? Can you hear me? Okay. Hello. Some microphone issues, unfortunately, as you're hearing me. Okay, see if you can get them fixed. If not, just please listen as we go through the class today. And if you have any queries, please just type them into the text box if you're unable to get through to me through the microphone. All right, great. Well, nice to meet you 3 students today, and I really hope that we can go through and use some of the reading material today for the class as we go along. So as I said, at any point today, I'm going to be asking some questions. So feel free, obviously, to make use of that time, unmute your microphone and engage in some discussion with other students, as well as ask me any questions at any point. This is going to be a seminar today, so I want to encourage anyone to talk and ask as many questions as possible as we go along. So before we go, does anyone have any questions for me about what I do at Swoosh English, about your course, etc.? Feel free to unmute your microphone and I'll take some of those quick questions now as an introduction before we go along. Anybody at all? I guess that's a no then. So also feel free to type into your text box as we go along too. Manoj, you got a question?
No, that's okay.
That's all right. All right, no worries. Well, nice to meet you guys today, and I really hope that we can enjoy this lesson. We're going to get into our reading lesson today, which is 1 hour long. So here is our lesson content and aims. So today is going to serve as an introduction. It's the first class, and we're going to have a little introduction to PTE reading. Now, I know some of you guys have taken the PTE examination before, so you might be quite familiar with the content and the structure and the flow and the type of exercises you have to do, as well as some strategies you might come across. But feel free also to take in some of the information and ask any questions about it. So our lesson focus today is going to be on the exercise multiple choice single answer. As you know, there are 5 different reading components, but we're going to break down every day into 1 or 2 exercises that we focus purely on the exercise at hand. So as part of our multiple choice single answer lesson today, you're going to learn how to approach multiple choice single answer, including some procedure, strategies, scoring, tips, etc. Just to give you guys a good understanding about what you have to do, any strategies that might work, how your score, and any tips that will help you get that score that you need or above. All right, so as part of that lesson focus, we're going to look at practicing your skimming and your scanning and your question analysis skills. All very, very important for multiple choice single answer. We're going to go through those little sub skills today as part of the class. Then finally, of course, the meat of the lesson is going to be practicing your sample multiple choice single answer prompts. We're going to go through maybe 5 today in total if we have time. If not, if we run out of prompts, I have some more. If not, that's great. We can go through them in our own time. We don't have to rush. Any questions you might have, any queries, we're going to break them down and discuss them as a group. And then finally, we're going to leave some time at the very end for some questions and answers and some feedback where you have a chance to ask me any more questions in detail, and we can give you some feedback on your performance today. All right. So as I said, any point, unmute your microphone before I move on, and you can ask me a question at any point as well. All right, so for those who have done the test, you might be quite aware of the structure. I'm just going to go through that structure in a little bit of detail in terms of what you have to do as part of the reading test on the day. So as you know, the reading section, and some of you may know, it's split into 5 different sections, and it will total 32 to 41 minutes in total. So we're going to look at part 1 today, and part 1 is multiple choice, choose single answer. And as you can see, you will have 2 to 3 of these items to do on the day of the examination. That is also complemented with a multiple choice, choose multiple answer, reorder paragraphs, reading, fill in the blanks, as well as reading and writing, fill in the blanks. So each reading lesson per week, we're going to focus on 1 or 2 of these questions, so that by the end of the course, you will have had exposure and practice with all the reading prompts as part of the PTE examination. So as I said, here's a bit more detail about what that task is, the question type, the task, what is assessed, and the prompt length. A bit more detail in terms of what you can expect on the day. So multiple choice single answer, you have to read the text and select one appropriate response to a multiple choice question centered on the tone and the context. So as you can see, we have 2 different multiple choice questions, and it is very important that you are able to differentiate between those 2 questions, because even though they're similar in terms of what you have to do, obviously if you answer a single answer question with more than 1 answer, you're not going to get any points. And likewise, conversely, if you answer a multiple choice question with 1 answer, then you're not going to get the maximum marks for the paper. So you need to be very, very aware and just pay attention to the question type, because people have got caught out before in the rush and the stress of the day. So what is assessed? Of course, your reading, and of course the prompt length can be between 110 and 300 words. So even though the multiple choice single answer prompts are typically shorter than multiple choice multiple answer prompts, they do vary in length from as little as 110 words to up to 300 words. So the reading component can be quite stringent overall. Just good idea to keep that in mind. All right. Did anyone have any questions about the structure of the test in terms of what you have to do? Nope. All right, let's go into just a little bit more detail about the task. And this time I'm going to ask you some questions about what you may already know in terms of the reading task itself. Well, first of all, what is the task? Well, it's a multiple choice item that evaluates your reading abilities. It requires examination candidates to read, analyze, appreciate, and assess a short text on an academic subject and choose one correct answer. Does anyone know how long you have to complete this task? So each prompt, each reading prompt you have, does anyone know how much time you have to do each task? Anyone have a guess?
2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Perfect. Approximately 2 minutes per task. So some might be longer and some might be shorter. It depends, obviously, the flow of the text. But you're looking to get yourself up to the speed where you have 2 minutes per task. So if you're doing that in that time, then you're going to be on track to getting the PTE exam done in its entirety as part of the test. How many multiple choice single answer prompts do you have to do on the day? Anyone know?
2.
Yeah, there will be 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So as little as 2 and as many as 4. So we're taking an average of about 3. We'll say 3 to 4 on the day. And also, this is maybe quite an obvious question, but how can you choose more than one answer for multiple choice single answer?
No.
Of course not. But the reason why I say that is because there is obviously multiple choice, multiple answer. And it's highly important that you are aware of that task on the day so that you answer it correctly, because if you don't, then you won't get the maximum marks you can and you'll lose out on some of that. All right. Any questions about the structure of the test?
Nope, I'm good.
Are we good to go? Did someone on the chat box here has typed in something? I am completely new to PTE and my microphone is not working, but I am following. No problem. Okay. Is it Radidazi? I'm very sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Please just follow along with the class. And if you have any questions or queries, type them into the text box and I will obviously answer you via text as we go along, just to let you know that I am listening and everything is going ahead. All right. No questions about the task? Well, let's get into the first task. So the first task we're going to look at today is we're going to practice our skimming and scanning skills. Does anyone know what the difference is between the two techniques of skimming and scanning? Anyone know what scanning is?
Scanning, like searching things.
Yes, we're searching for things. You're actually searching for things with both skimming and scanning, but there is a slight difference in what you have to do. So scanning, what you do is you scan for the gist. If you can see the text box here over on the right-hand side, you will see that I have written in scan for gist. Does everyone know what gist is? When we talk about gist when it comes to reading skills and our comprehension, what does it mean?
Overall summary.
Yes, we're looking for a summary. How we can make sense of the overall summary, the topics and the main ideas in our passage. So that's the gist. And obviously it's a good idea to get the gist because that obviously allows us to comprehend the meaning of the text in an overall way. And then we can home in on the details which we have to get then for our questions. And then by skimming, so scanning is getting the overall summary. Then what is skimming?
Identifying keywords, I think.
Precisely. Yeah, but it says over here a bit in the keywords. So we're looking for the main details. So think of scanning overall to get an overall understanding, whereas skimming is extracting the key information and the important parts of our text. All right, great. Skimming and scanning are the first things that we should do for this task. Now we only have 2 minutes to do it. So obviously it's good to pick up your speed as you go along, but if you take more time to scan a text for gist and skim for keywords, that's great. Make sure that you're able to do it because it's obviously important to do it to some degree than not being able to do it effectively at all. So if you can't do it in 2 minutes to begin with, that's okay. We will hopefully then pick up some speed. But I think you guys will be fine if you're getting 65 or above in the PTE examination. You're going to be fairly competent at that. So great. Our first task here is our first text for our first prompt. So before we get into the prompts later on where we go up to PTE speed of 2 minutes per task, I'm just going to spend some time now looking at how we can, just to test your own comprehension of scanning for gist and skimming for keywords. So the first thing I want everyone to do is, if you haven't done it already, is just to look over the text, read through it at a nice comfortable speed, and tell me what you think the gist of this text is. What is the overall meaning of this, this reading text? So please take your time, have a read through it, and then tell me whenever you feel like you've gotten to it. But don't say until I've prompted you to do so. I want everyone else to have a read through it first before they listen. So I'll maybe give you all about, we'll say 1 minute. I'll see how well you've done. If you need more than 1 minute, then you guys can take more time. Has everyone had a chance to skim through and get their own understanding of it, or do you need more time?
No, it's okay.
Okay, everyone good? Just say yes or type in yes, all good. All right, perfect. Well, who would like to give me their own understanding of this reading passage? What would be the main idea behind it? If we can sum it up in one short sentence. Let's go into the chat.
Air pollution, I know.
Is that Manoj? Are you talking Manoj?
Yeah.
Okay, Manoj, please fire away. Tell me what you think.
This about the air pollution and its effect on health.
Its effect on health, that's 1 point. Okay, yeah, it does take about the effect on health. Can we go into any more detail about what aspect of health it's actually affecting the most? So obviously health's important, but there's a bit more detail about that. Did anyone else pick up the other key detail?
Cognitive ability. Yes.
So yeah, I heard the word cognitive being mentioned there. Let me just type that. Let me just type that word out. Cognitive. So we have cognitive is one of the key words we'll look up. Anyone else? Let's see, we got a text box here. Effect of air pollution on a level of intelligence. Perfect. That's the other key detail. So while you were right, Manoj, to talk about its effect on health, it went into more detail about a certain aspect of health, the level of how certain air pollution actually affected our intelligence. So when we're searching and scanning for when we're scanning for gist, what parts of the text are we going to be looking for the most key details? Like in the start of the first paragraph, throughout the entire text, at the end of the second paragraph, first paragraph. At what point are we looking for the main takeaway from those key details?
Mainly, I think the first and the last one, I think.
Yeah, so the key details we're going to find always usually in the first sentence or two. This is known as our topic sentence. So what is the first paragraph topic sentence? The effect of air pollution on respiratory health has long been known. However, a new study suggests it may be responsible for a significant reduction in intelligence. So that's how we're getting a key idea here through that first idea. All right, so that's how we got that. Great, well done guys for picking up on that. So did we get any key words in particular that related to this topic sentence and that main idea? Anything that's going to help us with our understanding of the text? We got one here, which is cognitive. You don't have to give me them all. I mean, there might be a couple of words or a few words that you find are very important and obviously will need to be taken note of.
The air pollution is the fourth largest cause of death.
Yep. Where is that? Yes, over here is the fourth largest cause of death. That's very, very important. The question might relate to that. So that's obviously a key statistic which may be used. Anything else we have? No, well, there is
the last one, I think the government taking specific steps to reduce air pollution.
Yeah, all governments should take specific steps to reduce air pollution. That may be referenced. But anyway, as I know, skimming for keywords is quite nebulous. I'm not going to ask you to relate all to the keywords and all the key points, but we've picked up on a few there, and that's what we want overall with that. All right, good. So well done. The gist is the effect of air pollution on people's health, but specifying on the intelligence. And there are some key phrases we picked up there, including air pollution is the 4th largest cause of death, and also how governments should take specific steps towards it, as well as a few other things. We'll look at those a bit more as we move on with this passage. So does anyone have any questions regarding any vocabulary, any terms, or maybe some new terms of vocabulary you're not sure of? It is quite academic. Feel free to ask any questions here. And if you like, you can answer each other, but of course I will answer too. Take a moment, just have a read through the passage. If there's any new terms here, it could be a word that you recognize, but it might be used in a different way. I can give you more information on the word form and how it's used, as well as any context behind it as well. Let's see, we got effective air pollution on level 20. What does gist mean when scanning for gist? Well, as I mentioned, when we talk about gist refers to the overall meaning. So the gist is basically if we can basically make an understanding of an entire passage, an entire idea in one sentence, we summarize it into a single idea. That's what we mean by gist. And we look for the gist because it's highly important for us to understand the essential meaning of a text so that we can break it down and understand the main points and the key details within that text too. Does that answer your question? I hope so. Let me know if that answers your question, Radizai, and if not, I will give you a bit more information. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Happy to help. Does anyone have any more questions about any vocabulary or terms in this text? If not, just say no, and I'll move on.
No, all good.
All good, Manoj. Great. Acho Hari, you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Excellent. Well, good. I'm really happy then that your vocabulary is up to scratch. Very good. Let me see. And also, yep, Radizai is also fine. Great. Fantastic. Good. All right. Well, let's move on now to our next question as part of this. Here we now have our questions for this text. As you can see, we have our question prompt, and we have 4 possible answers. The question is, according to the text, which of these statements is correct? So we usually, before we start actually doing our summary itself, when I start going through our prompts, there's a few things we should do and get into the habit of doing before we begin. The first thing we should do, of course, is read through the question and the 4 answer options. So everyone just please take a quick moment, look at the question, try to get an idea what the question is doing, and also just get an idea of the keywords and the important words as part of our question prompt as well. Obviously, we want to have an understanding of what these keywords are so we can cross-reference with the listening or with the reading section as well. So take a moment, read through them. If you have any questions, please ask me about them. Just make sure everyone is here with their microphone on. Perfect. Everyone's ready to go. Anyone have any questions about the question answers itself? The 4 potential answers? Might be some terms or vocabulary that you might be unsure of.
Nope.
Nope. Everyone's pretty happy. Great. So this might seem like an obvious question, but the reason why I get my students to do this, and it is important to do it, is looking at the second prompt. What is the question asking you to do? What do you have to do as part of this question? As I said, it might seem obvious, but it's important to understand and hear it from your lips before we start.
Like out of these four options, one statement should match with the passage.
Precisely. Which ones are correct? Which ones can you find supporting details with in the passage itself? And the reason why I ask you is because some people are in such a rush doing the PTE examination. You might be stressed, you might be nervous, and you're trying to get through it as quickly as possible that you fail to pick up on what the question is asking you to do. And you might have read, oh, which statements is incorrect? But the question actually asked you to do to answer statements that were correct. And then you're looking through it in a haste, you realize you've been doing it wrong, you've lost all your time, or even worse, you didn't pick up on it and you answered it incorrectly. That is why it is very important to get a thorough understanding of what the statement is asking you to do before you begin. Make sure you understand the question itself. All right. So once you've done that, you've had a read through the question answers, you've got an understanding of what the questions asked you to do, you then highlight your keywords. What is a keyword?
Statement.
It's a statement, yep. Anything else? Anyone have an understanding of what a keyword is? But yeah, precisely, a keyword is looking for a statement or an idea or a main point or topic. So when we look through our question answers, what kind of words are we going to circle or highlight? So the key content words, which are the most important to circle and highlight? Is a noun important? What do we think? Is a noun important to circle or highlight?
Noun, yeah.
A noun's highly important, probably the most important. What about a verb? Is that important?
Yeah.
Of course. What about an adjective? Are they important?
Not sure.
Not sure. They are still important, but not maybe as important as nouns and verbs. However, some of the key details and the changes about can actually refer to the adjectives as well. So that's also very, very important. What about adverbs? Are they important?
Probably.
Yes, probably is a good answer. I think so. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say probably. Very important as well. What about names? Are names important?
Nope.
They are very important names. There may be a question in which they've obviously given you a name, but the name may be incorrectly referenced, and the person that you refer to might be different to what was said in the passage. For example, Scott Johnson said this, but actually it was referring to Manoj. He said that, for example. So it's important to take note of names. What about numbers and dates? Are they important?
Yeah.
They are very, very important. So the main takeaway from this is that basically the words that actually highlight the main pieces of information in our answers are the single most important points. They carry the key meaning of the passage. They are of the answers in the passage. They are our content words. So we need to circle those and have an understanding of what they are. So let's have a look at our first answer A. Can anyone give me some words they think are very important in this? What are our most important words? Our key words?
Air pollution.
Air pollution is very important. It's our noun. It's what we're referring to. What about is? Is it important?
No.
No, it's an auxiliary word. It doesn't really carry any meaning. What about an article? We have the article a. Not really that important, but sometimes they can be if it's referring to a specific thing. We have the, or a general thing, then we'll use a, but not that important. What about simple? Problem?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. We have the adjective and the noun. These are important to highlight. What about to?
No.
Not important. It's a preposition. Doesn't really carry much information. Solve?
Yes, must.
Yes, it is. It's a verb. Solve obviously carries a lot of meaning and can be used well in context. What about all?
No.
No, yeah, it can be. It may be, depending on the context, it can be important, but it's only a maybe in the context. It is a quantifier that refers to all governments, so it does conjoin with this noun governments. So we'll take a note of it. It might be important, but we're looking for the most meaning with governments. What about the rest? Commit to working together.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, so we have commit, not so much to, but working together. So if I say this, if I only say all of the key content words when reading this answer, does it make sense to you? Air pollution, simple problem, solve, governments, commit, working together. It's broken, but do you understand what I mean with it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. These are the important keywords, the words that carry the most meaning. So we can take away the other information. Just make sure that you've had it, you basically have highlighted and you're aware of those words, because they may come across in in a direct form in the passage, but most notably they will be paraphrased or changed around a little bit. That's why it's a good idea to have an understanding of those keywords. All right. So what I want you guys to do now is take a minute or so and look through answers B, C, and D and highlight your key words before we start our reading exercise. What words carry the most meaning to you? Highlight them, take a note of them on a piece of paper or in your mind. It's up to you. Remember, these words should carry the most meaning, and you should be able to recount them easily with the broken English after all, because these words will be referenced in some form or another, possibly in the passage. I can hear lots of typing there. That's a good sign. All right. Everyone had a chance to take down note of their keywords? All right. Excellent. Does anyone have any questions before we begin? Any other information or any questions you have about this reading task?
No, it's all good.
Perfect. All right, good. Well, then let's get into the task itself. So you've done the first two parts. You skimmed and scanned. You've taken a note of your questions and your answers, and you've also skimmed and scanned those. You have an idea of the key information. Let's move on now to the actual task itself. But first of all, I want to go through a few extra tips that you can use when doing this reading task. So remember that the question itself can relate to the main idea or detail, implication, resolve, and even the organization. By this, what I essentially mean is that these are the four main question types that you will have within multiple choice single answer. So the main idea, the main detail, which of these are supported in the text, which are not supported, which are correct, which are incorrect, which are true, or which are false. The most common type is extracting the information that way. You also might have questions where you have to think of the main idea of the text. What is the main idea that the text is trying to convey? That's where getting your understanding of the gist is very important to understand that question type. You might have the writer's implication. So instead of talking about the main idea, the question may ask you, what is the main point of the writer? What is the writer trying to say? It's a bit different to the main idea, because obviously you're going to be quoting quoted information throughout that, and you have to then obviously extract the meaning from throughout the entire text. And also the resolve as well. That might be referenced as well. All right. As I said, skim read to get an idea of the main point or gist, as knowing this will help to answer the common main theme question. You guys have done that. Did someone just raise their hand?
Yeah.
Yes, Ajit, have you got a question for me?
Is the main idea and gist, they both are same, right?
They're similar, whereas the main idea will usually come from the topic sentences and the conclusion. The topic sentence is basically what is being referenced at the very, very beginning. How can we summarize the main idea up in one sentence? Whereas the writer's resolve will often refer to key points and details which give an opinion throughout the text. So the text will be a bit different in the way it's structured. It might be less factual and more of an information piece. But yes, it is important to get that information for the main idea, usually in the topic sentence at the beginning of each paragraph and in the conclusion, whereas the writer's main idea will also come at the end, usually where the writer gives their opinion, but also look for information that comes throughout in opinion pieces. Now, we have a lot of information, other videos that I've done and my other co-teachers have done, as well as mock prompts and analysis videos, which go into more information on the writer's resolve style question, but also throughout our course, we're going to be making some more of those questions for reading as well. So you're going to get some more practice with that as we go along, but feel free to look up the other information as part of the course. Does that answer your question, or do you have any more information? Any more questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, excellent. Don't worry about it too much at this point. We'll go into more as we go along. All right, as I said, scan the question, all 4 options of text, which you guys have done. Once you've done this, read through the text to find supporting evidence for the one answer while eliminating the others. And it is highly important that you don't just obviously read through and pick one answer. You should also be simultaneously finding reasons for why the other answers are incorrect. Therefore, you're more sure of your answer and you can be sure of getting that point. It's even more important for multiple choice and multiple answer, but still important for this, that you obviously eliminate the other answers by finding information which contradicts it or not finding any information at all. And of course, if it's difficult, you should eliminate as many as you can and reevaluate again. It depends obviously on your own time management. Do you have a lot of time to be skimming through the answers, or do you need to move on without having been able to eliminate the other answers overall? All right, anyway, let's get into our prompts now. So I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to answer this prompt. I'm going to time everyone for 2 minutes and see if you can do it on time. That's how much time you'd have in the PTE examination. So I want everyone to read the text and answer the multiple choice question by selecting the single correct response. Only one response is correct. I'll give you all 2 minutes to answer the question. According to the text, which of these statements is correct? And don't forget, when you've made your answer, that it's very important that you also try and find some time to eliminate the other answers by finding textual information which contradicts it, or even just analyze again to make sure it is correct and it's being referenced properly, because some can be kind of tricky. And also ask any questions as well if you have anything to ask me. I am here, just waiting and listening. It's about 1 minute down, 1 minute left. Do we have a question? Okay. Thank you, Radit Zai. Good, we got an answer. I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds to see if you can answer. All right, 10 seconds left. Perfect. We have 3 answers, and well done. Everyone managed to get the correct answer, which is C. City dwellers need to be aware of the link between brain function and pollution. Good. Does anyone want to tell me what part of the text backs up that answer for being C? And tell me where it is, first, second paragraph, middle, or end.
The last one, the last paragraph.
The last paragraph, and what part, my friend?
The last 3 lines. In summarizing their findings, the researchers started no quick solution was available, but all governments should take specific steps to reduce air pollution in all cities and beyond. I think this is the answer.
All right.
No,
All right.
it's not.
The study showed the longer the exposure to polluted air, the greater damage to intelligence.
Yes. All right. This is it. So good. Even though you got the correct answer, well done. It actually wasn't that part that referenced it, but I'm glad you managed to derive the meaning from it overall. But the answer is actually in, as we said, oh, sorry. I'll just go back. I went forward a slide extra there. Oh, it must have gone. Sorry, that slide must have disappeared. Let me just highlight it for you. So the information that we're trying to find that backs it up is actually here, as we said. The results published should serve as a warning to others around the world, particularly those living in dense urban areas. So we've paraphrased, the question has been paraphrased, city dwellers with dense urban areas. Urban area city is a direct paraphrase, but it's been referenced. Need to be aware. What phrase here paraphrases with need to be aware in the passage? Anyone tell me?
Sorry?
Which phrase here paraphrases in the text with need to be aware? So need to be aware. There's a phrase in this, in the box that I've highlighted, which paraphrases that and has the same meaning. We got an answer in the text box, serve as a warning. Yeah, perfect. Well done. Serve as a warning is the exact same meaning as needs to be aware. So as we can see, the information is being paraphrased directly at this point. And we have the link between brain function and pollution. Yeah, so the results is obviously referring to that, which is the link between brain function and pollution. We know that because of our topic sentence. It's all being referenced here. Well done. Good. So we got the answer correct. Can anyone give me a reason why A is incorrect? Is there anything that we can find in the passage which eliminates A as a correct answer?
Simple problem.
Air pollution is a simple problem to solve if all governments commit to working together. Yeah. Is there anything that references how it's not a simple problem? This is the point that does not directly correlate. We scan the text and see if we can find the phrase which tells us that it's not a simple problem.
No quick solution.
Yeah, no quick solution. No quick solution. So it's not a simple problem because there's no quick solution. Obviously, we can bring in our own background information for that. We're all pretty aware that air pollution is not a simple problem. It's pretty complex, but it's obviously good to find the information in the text which directly states that. Good. Did we find anything for B being incorrect? Thousands of students were tested, each of them around the age of 20.
The name was age of 20.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything that tells us here that that was not correct?
This sentence is not mentioned in the passage.
It's not in the passage. It actually is in the passage. There is a part here which contradicts that as being incorrect. It's in the first paragraph. If people want to have a look. And I'll just make it easier. It's around this area here. See if you can find something which contradicts that as being correct.
20,000 students of varying ages.
Yes, of varying ages. Does that mean they're all the same age? No, they're all different ages. Varying means different ages. So that directly contradicts that. All right, good. Well done. And what about D? The over 60s were found to be less educated than other students. Is there anything in that passage which contradicts that for statement D?
Yeah, in the third last line, it says for the over 60s, this would be several years of lost education.
Right. For the over 60s, this would be several years of lost education. Does that mean that they're less educated?
No.
No, it just means that unfortunately their memory and their cognitive abilities have decreased because of pollution, but not that they're any less educated. So it doesn't actually correlate that way. It's got a completely different meaning. Well done, guys. Good. Answer C, fantastic. So that's what we want to do. Obviously, you might get to the point where you can do this really quickly and you're very, very good at it. But this is our structure and our strategy for enabling us to be able to extract the key information, analyze it, make sure it's right, while simultaneously eliminate the other sections overall as well as incorrect answers. Good. Any questions about that passage? Any vocabulary? Any other questions about the process?
I have one question.
Sure.
Like, this is taking a bit of more time. Like, it's not gonna be within 2 minutes. I'm not sure how can I solve this question within 2 minutes.
It's taking you more than 2 minutes. You mean the overall procedure?
No. This one was easy. I found this one easy, but like when I practice a bit complicated questions, then it is harder for me to complete in 2 minutes.
And have you been using the strategy that I've outlined, or have you been doing things a bit differently?
Yeah, I was reading the main question content first. Then I was scanning and skimming through the passages. Then I was going through the options. But as you mentioned, first we need to go through option. First is to understand the topic question, and then go for all options. Then refer to passages.
Okay,
That's
good.
I understood.
Yes. So, is there a certain question type that you find that you're finding difficult, or is there a certain maybe passage you're finding difficult, a certain topic?
No, yeah, that one, like the gist question.
Yep.
And that one I am finding a bit difficult.
You're finding these questions difficult. Okay. Well, the first thing I can say is obviously the more practice that you do, the better. Obviously, we're going through these classes. We've been doing these a bit slower, but the next prompt we're going to do, I'm going to throw everyone straight into it. You have 2 minutes to do the entire question like you would do in the PTE examination. But my advice would be to do it just in your own time, is to, first of all, get the strategy down, get the procedure down, make sure you're doing it automatically and like clockwork. And then obviously, the more you do it, the more proficient you should become in that strategy, in that outline, and you should hopefully see that your accuracy and your answers will improve. If you find that you're not, then maybe there might be something you're slightly weak in. Maybe it's your ability to extract information quickly. Maybe there's certain grammatical phrases or paraphrasing that you might be finding difficult. Analyze what that is, and then you can see what's going wrong. But also highly useful in your own time is just to read as much academic text in your own time, and also improve your own vocabulary, improve your understanding of grammatical and written English as well. But I know for a fact that the more you practice this strategy and the more that you just become more efficient at it, the quicker and better you should be in your answers. But there will be the occasional topic and reading passage which will stump you because of the new terms and new topic, the new vocabulary you might come across overall. But practice, 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 and just be disciplined. Make sure you try and stick to it as quick as possible. There will be the hard ones that do come across, but it's about doing as much in your own time to improve upon that. All right. Any other questions? All right. Let's throw you in now to, I'm going to skip the one. I'm going to go on to question number 3, because I want to throw everyone into a harder one before we finish for the day. All right, so here's our next prompt. That one's actually maybe a bit easier than the last one. I've been going through them in a progressively more difficult way, but I'm going to get stuck into this one. Here is your question. So what's the first thing you should be doing now before we start this prompt?
Read the question.
Read the questions. When you're reading the questions, what are you doing?
Let's see.
You're reading the questions, you're getting your keywords, your main words, your names, your dates, your nouns, your verbs, your adjectives, words that carry the most meaning, and you're highlighting those and making a note of those. So obviously if you highlight, then the benefit of that is that they stick out to you. And therefore when you're cross-referencing with the text itself, you will see the phrases that directly match those phrases. Then you obviously take the information around it and say, okay, is that making sense to me? Or is it saying something the same, or is it saying something different? So obviously take then approximately maybe 30 to 40 seconds at the beginning, reading through your questions and making sure you have an understanding of the question itself. So take a moment, read through those and highlight the important information, because the more accurate you are, the better you will be. Also, what is the question asking you to do?
Which is not supported in the passage.
Yes, what is not supported in the passage. So you're looking basically for a false answer, incorrect answer, inaccurate answer, not supported answer. So it's important to highlight that and be aware of that. Does anyone have any questions about the 5 answer types at all?
No.
It's a historical passage. Hopefully you have a knowledge of Leif Erikson and the Crusades, because it's what we're going to be doing today, a historical style one. So what I want you guys to do now is read through the text while you're skimming and scanning, see if you can get an understanding of the gist, even though it might not be as important this time because we're looking for a supported, not supported style passage. It's still useful to get overall understanding of the gist. Extract your keywords, highlight them as you're going along in the passage, and then you can start to cross-reference the information you've highlighted with the answers, and then tell me, is that true or false? What suggests that's supported? What suggests it's not supported overall? I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to do this like you would in the real PTE examination, maybe a bit longer. All right, so please answer the question. One single answer only. And also ask me any questions as you're going through it. Okay, that's about 2 minutes. So please try and pick your answer now as you would in the real PTE examination. Remember, there's no negative marking for single question, multiple choice single answer. So if you're unsure, then please just guess. There's nothing to lose. So pick any answer at all. So we've answered A and we've answered D. From Radazai and Ajit. Manoj, have you got an answer?
It looks like C.
C. Oh, we have different answers here. We have A, C, and D. So we're looking for information that is not supported overall. I can confirm that the answer, one person has got it right, which is good. The answer is D. That is the one part which is not supported in the passage. And if this will go forward, the answer is D. The Crusades began in the 1200s and lasted for approximately 3 centuries. So who answered D? Can you please tell me what information you found to refute that as the wrong answer?
I didn't find this information in the passage.
Yeah, you need to find the information in the passage. You're finding for something that is not supported in the passage. So this is incorrect. The Crusades did not begin in the 1200s and lasted for approximately 3 centuries. Did you find the information which proves that as not being supported?
I didn't find this information in the passage. That's why I
How did you?
chose D.
Oh, you didn't find it in the passage. Well, then
Yeah.
you managed to get it very lucky because it is in the passage. But yes, this question you may find information that is not supported. It's not there in the passage at all. But there also might be information which is incorrect in the passage, so it's not supported by something correct, or there's no information at all. So the information in this is actually in this sentence here. The Crusades began at the end of the 11th century, which is correct. 1200s is the 11th century, and they continue for about 200 years. 200 years versus 3 centuries are different. How long is a century?
100 years.
That's 100 years. 100. So we have 200 years and 3 centuries. So therefore, it's not supported, and it is incorrect. Therefore, it's our answer we need to pick. So who picked, let's see what answers we all picked here. Ralizai, you picked answer A. Leif Erikson is named after a Norwegian who sailed around the northeastern coast of the USA. So did we find any information that suggested that? Is that correct in the passage? So I thought Leif is the named after a Norwegian. He is a Norwegian, but he was also named after his own day, which is Leif Erikson Day itself. Therefore, it suggests that he did sail around the northeastern coast of what we now call North America 1,000 years ago. So we correlate the USA with North America, therefore suggesting it is the correct answer. And what else do we have? We have answer D. Oh, sorry, answer
E.
Do we have another answer? E as well? Businessmen
C.
were, answer C, the Crusades were waged by people of a Roman Catholic religious denomination. Did we find any information that suggests that they were Roman Catholics?
And these wars reported by Europeans who were mainly Roman Catholic Christians.
So these wars were efforts by Europeans who were mainly Roman Catholic Christians. Does that support that or not when you read that back?
Yeah, it's supported.
Yes, a religious denomination referring to Roman Catholics, and they are Christians. So therefore it does back it up. They were efforts by Europeans who were mainly Roman Catholic Christians. They were waged by people of the Roman Catholic religious denomination. So therefore it is directly supported. So the key words here are 3 centuries and 200 years. The rest are all correct in their support.
Still about the D, Alex. The 3 century means so how we compare with the number. I just compare with the number, yeah.
The number, yeah, that's where you were throwing off. There were 3 centuries and 200 years. So that's why numbers are highly important here, because sometimes the information can be factually or incorrectly used. 200 years and 3 centuries is that little difference, which means that it's not supported overall. All right, excellent, guys.